Welcome to Spidell's California Minute. I'm your host, Catherine Zidane. This week, we're covering 3 California planning strategies to consider implementing by the end of the year. Get more tax planning tips at Spidell's Federal and California Tax Update, along with using AI in your tax practice, California legislation passed in 2024, conformity issues, and more. Get registered for a live seminar or webinar session at caltax.com. While most of the current focus in the tax world is on what will be enacted in Washington this next year, there are at least 3 California tax strategies we think tax professionals should raise with their clients now to help reduce their California tax liability in 2024 and beyond. Taxpayers who are planning to make a pass-through entity tax election on their 2024 tax return may want to consider making an additional payment toward their 2024 pass-through entity tax by December 31st, 2024. An additional tax payment in 2024 will increase the amount of the deduction the taxpayer can claim on their 2024 federal return, which will lower the net income passed through to the owners on their federal Schedules K-1. The option to make an additional payment in 2024 is only available to taxpayers who complied with the June 17, 2024 prepayment requirement. Taxpayers may also want to avoid making an additional payment if their 2024 qualified net income will be significantly lower than it was in 2023, and/or fewer owners will consent to have the entity pay the tax on their behalf in 2024 than consented in 2023. If either of these scenarios apply, the 50% June prepayment may have already satisfied most, if not all, of the tax that will be due with the 2024 tax return. Taxpayers should try to minimize the amount of any overpaid pass-through entity elective tax because tax overpayments will not be refunded to the entity until after the entity's return is processed, which can take upwards of 8 months. The next planning tip concerns the College Access Tax Credit. California law provides a 50% credit for contributions to the College Access Tax Credit Fund for businesses and individuals. To claim the credit, taxpayers have to submit an application to the California Educational Facilities Authority in the California Treasurer's Office by 5 p.m. Pacific Time on January 2, 2025. The taxpayer cannot claim a charitable contribution on their California return for the amounts contributed. Also, the taxpayer is ineligible to claim a federal charitable contribution for the amount of the credit claimed. The credit can only be claimed for monetary contributions. It cannot be claimed for donations of appreciated stock. Taxpayers subject to the 1% mental health services tax on income in excess of $1 million may want to consider using this credit to lower their income below the $1 million threshold. The credit can be used to reduce the tentative minimum tax or the alternative minimum tax. Any unused credit can be carried forward for up to 6 years. And the third planning tip concerns the California Competes tax credit. The next round of applications for the California Competes tax credit will be held from January 6, 2025 to January 27, 2025. Up to $215 million in credits will be available during this application round. The minimum credit that can be requested is $20,000. The California Competes tax credit is a non-refundable credit against corporate franchise and personal income taxes that is available to new and growing California businesses or businesses that are considering terminating or leaving California. Unused credits can be carried forward for up to 6 years. The credit may reduce the regular tax below the tentative minimum tax. Taxpayers have to apply to the governor's GoBiz office to receive the credit, and the credits are awarded on a competitive basis. We have a more detailed version of these 3 tax planning considerations in the upcoming December 2024 issue of Spidell's California Tax Letter. For subscription information, go to caltax.com and click Publications. That's all for this week. Join us next time for another episode of Spidell's California Minute.